So today people have been asking me about Venezuela. So I'm going to share with you some insights that I have of 26 years of experience, having been there when Hugo Chavez first won and Chavismo took off. The first protest against Hugo Chavez in 2000, I was there. When Chavez died, he went to Cuba and passed away from prostate cancer, and I know some very interesting details about that I'll share with you a bit later. When Maduro took over, how there wasn't food in the grocery stores, and the real reason that Trump decided to go into Venezuela and get rid of Maduro. Now everybody's saying, yeah, it's oil, yeah, it's drugs, and both those elements are true. They have natural resources, they have oil, so why not? They've been shipping drugs to the United States, so why not? It's good for Europe and it's good for the United States to eliminate that one center of distribution, though there'll be others. But there's another fundamental reason, because of the geopolitical influence that Venezuela has, not just in South America, but in Europe as well, particularly Spain. And I'm going to shock you with a little detail that they're not talking about in the media, and it's never really been brought up publicly. But I know about it because I was in the know. I used to associate with Maduro's politicians and higher ups in the military and the police and security forces and all that. I know a story firsthand of a lady who was pregnant and that his elite security forces kicked a baby out of her womb because they didn't agree with her husband's political views. So I have no love for Maduro. I don't think he's a particularly nice guy. I was having coffee with somebody and I saw their brains be blown out all over me, actually, because, again, Maduro's didn't agree with his political opinions. So I saw a lot of nasty things happen in Venezuela. Now, Venezuela was a beautiful country at one period. It was rich. There was a lot of jobs. There was good medical care. There was plenty of selection. You went to a grocery store, all kinds of food. It was a great place. It was rich compared to, let's say, like its neighbor Colombia. And when Chavez took over, gradually it got worse and worse. It wasn't so bad at the beginning, but then eventually, when Maduro got into power, I couldn't even buy food. Venezuelans, of course, couldn't buy food. You go to the grocery store and all they had is maybe rice and beans. Or you go on another day and all they had was bananas and cans of sardines. I'm not joking. A huge warehouse grocery store, and that's all there was. Sardines and bananas. Now you think about it, right? Venezuelans suffered a lot during the Maduro regime. And it was a regime. He wasn't a real president. What these politicians do is they give money away right before the elections to buy the simple man's vote. We even see that in the United States, in California, Gavin Newsom. He does things like, right before an election, he'll give money away to the elderly, hoping that he's gonna buy their vote. Maduro would do the same thing. He would give away sacks of free flour and bread and corn and all this kind of stuff to all the poor people the week before the election. So they would just remember, last week he gave me some free food, so if I vote for him, maybe I'll get more free food in the future. But he'd forget about them for the next 3 or 4 years. Because when it comes down to this kind of ultra-progressive socialism, is all about the politician, the power themselves. Most of the people that get involved in politics, especially when they take the ultra-progressive route, they realize kind of what's going on. They get into power because people sponsor them and get them into power. So their loyalty is not to the citizens and the voter. Their loyalty is to those people that got them in power. And I think the general public doesn't understand that fundamental detail about this. The other thing about Maduro we need to keep in mind is, again, the geopolitical influence they had. You see, in Spain, there was a political party called Podemos, ultra-progressive communist party that was financed initially by Chavismo. I remember when they started in Spain, I saw them with their little red tents setting up and we kind of laughed at them at that point. But now you've got a polarized system in Spain and things continue this way in another 10, 15, 20 years, they could have another civil war. There's that much animosity between the two systems. And the majority of the people, by the way, are not ultra-progressive communists in Spain, nor in the United States. But you'd like to think so because that's the story that they feed you, the narrative. The media doesn't give us the full story. So what is the deal about Chavismo? Where did they get their financing and what was the real deal behind all this? Well, I'm going to shock you in just a moment when I share with you that detail. So how does it work? Well, one of the things that they do is they get the upper echelons of the appointees who are actually loyal to this Chavismo or this ultra-progressive agenda. It's a worldwide thing. I mean, when Chavez took over, what happened immediately? Ecuador became socialist, communist. Evo Morales won in Bolivia. We saw what happened in Argentina, complete disaster. Everywhere these key people go, it's a disaster because they don't invest money in the country. All they're doing is trying to stay in power as long as they possibly can. They take the money to buy votes. They take the money, they steal the money too, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them steal the money, or they misappropriate, misspend the money. If you look in California, $24 billion to fix homelessness and they can't show where the money went, or another $10 billion for a train system that they've never laid one single track. I mean, talk about mismanagement. Either you're a lying sack of potatoes, or on the other hand, you're just completely inept. In either case, you probably shouldn't be in political office. And comparing, yes, California's Gavin Newsom to Maduro in many ways, because they have the same political ideas. Same thing as Pedro Sanchez in Spain, another Maduro type or Chavez type ideologies. Why do you think Zapatero, the ex-president of Spain, is so close to Venezuela with heavy investments in Venezuela? He's another corrupt individual that people are suspicious about. There's a lot of things going on, but the money was coming from, check this out, the CCP. That's right. The CCP gave the seed money and the financing to Chavez in order for Chavismo to go upwards, in order to grow, to flourish. And then they gave more money so they could start another like franchise, you could say, in Spain, and another franchise in Argentina, and another franchise in Bolivia, and Ecuador, and Chile, and Brazil. And that's what they do, basically. That's why the same sort of policies you see worldwide coming out that always seem to be kind of similar, because that's the system. And who's behind the CCP doing this? It's an organization called the MSS. It's called the Military Secret Service. It's the Chinese equivalent of the US CIA. However, it's much larger. They have about 500 or 600,000 active agents that we know of. Think of it this way. All the Chinatowns around the world have active MSS activities going on. All over the world. It's amazing. That's much more than actually the CIA. In Africa, in South America, in Europe, in North America, in Canada, in the UK. I'm sure even in Russia they got stuff going on. So Australia for sure. But most people, again, are not aware of this because they don't talk about it in the media. They'll say, oh, this guy is ultra-right, freaky, crazy guy. I worked in intelligence for nearly 20 years. And I was in Venezuela an awful lot. And I saw a lot of terrible things happen there. And it's one area of the world I know a lot about. I know a lot also about Ukraine. But that's for subject for another time. So if you got value from the video, smash the like button. I'd like to hear your comments in the comment box. And for more value like this, follow